is it going, everyone? Just gonna wait for a while. Let me get the chat out. Pop out over here. All right. How's it going, Amir? Get my windows situated. No sound. Testing, testing. There we go. Here goes the sound. Testing, testing. Let's get that level up there. There we go. How's it going, everybody? We'll get started momentarily. What is up? All right. Another live design review. Gonna get started in a second. Well, we got a lot of submissions already. Let me adjust my mic. There we go. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. All right, let's get started. Okay, so basically this is, even though this is the negative space number 19, I've probably done over 100 of these in total. But basically you submit your designs. It could be UI designs, logo designs, whatever, and I review them live, and we rate them, and I ask the chat, the community to rate them as well on a scale of 1 to 10. And the way you submit your designs is basically you click on the Discord link here in the YouTube description. When you join this server for the first time, you will be in the rules section, and you have to click on one of these icons down here based on whether or not you're a front end, back end, full stack if you're a designer or something else. That's just to combat spam, really. After you do that, feedback will be unlocked, and this is where you submit your design. Now, if you don't want to wait, because I can never get through all of them. We do this for an hour, and you definitely want me to review your design. Then in the YouTube chat area, you click on. Wait, what is that? Where's it at? Do I not have the monetization option? What the hell happened? There's usually a little money icon. Let me know in the chat if you guys have that option as well. I'm not sure if it's just not showing up for me, but usually you can send a super chat and then I'll get to yours. You'll be thrust to the very... Oh, it is? Good. I don't know where the hell it's at on mine. All right, but anyhow, you click on it and then you enter like a certain dollar amount, and then I will do yours. You'll be thrust to the very beginning of the line. Okay, well, I don't know why it's not showing up for me. That is very strange. Maybe just because I'm the YouTube, this is my channel. I'm not going to send myself money. Maybe that's why they did not show it. Okay. All right, well, let's go. Oh, but also something brand new. Let me show you this. My admin, JVS, I designed this little app yesterday, actually. And I'm doing it for a UI design course that I'm creating, and I decided I can use it as well for these live design reviews. And this is an app I'm going to make available to other people as well, to help be sort of like a mental checklist when you're doing your UI designs. So if you considered all of these checklists or whatever, you can mark them off. And for myself, I'm going to have this little rating bar when I'm rating designs, like on a scale of 1, to 10 in terms of how good I think somebody's doing. So JVS, my admin, I had him code this up and got it done in like 2 days. Awesome stuff. So we're going to give this a shot by using this as kind of like a tool when I'm designing these, or when I'm reviewing everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the very first one. All right, Scroll up here. All right, so the first one is I have no clue. This is a channel regular here. I've reviewed his design before. I gave it a 7 last time, and the client didn't like it, so this is version 2. So, all right, let's give this a shot. I'm going to situate this kind of over here. All right. So yes, super chats will go first if you send a super chat. All right, so let me scroll down here, get a good idea of what is happening. This is an Adobe XD prototype, so it's not like an HTML and CSS or anything like that. All right, so first of all, let's talk about white space. At least on this larger desktop resolution that we have here, white space for this is not quite there, in my opinion, because I look at the menu items. They're pretty large, and there's not a ton of space between them. I would like to see more separation between them. You could probably scale the size of this text down as well, which would give you the ability to have more space between them, more white space. In this section, the hero section right here, same sort of thing. Things are a little bit too tight together vertically in this area, at least. So I would definitely improve that. Looking at the other white space in the area, it's pretty okay. So the white space, I'm gonna leave around here. It's not like horrendous, but it could be definitely be improved. Contrast and all that looks good. I'm probably not going to go through every single one of these for every single entry, just because that would take too long. But I'm going to point out the areas that I think that are lacking, that could be improved. So I'll probably put this down here. The next up, the one item I did see that is problematic is this section right here. So this right here would be an issue with contrast. All right, so there's too much happening in this background photograph, this watermark essentially, in order to be able to easily read, to promote critical thinking and transform, blah, blah, blah. It's just too difficult, especially with these stars in the background right here. So you want to squash this, make it much darker, more of a watermark and an afterthought for that to work. Plus also having these thumbnails right here, right on top of them, without any border or whatever, is also cluttering up this area big time. So those would be the main two areas that I would think are, the main issues. Visual hierarchy, color, that doesn't seem bad. The typography is pretty good. The alignment's not nothing sticking out as being too bad. Yeah, good. All right, so if you guys want to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, let me know what you think in the chat. I'm going to say, this is going to be a... I'm going to say for this one, which I hate doing this because the last one I gave him a 7 apparently. I forgot what it was, what it looked like. I'm going to have to say for this one a 6. All right, so somebody else said 6, 7.9, 6, 7, 6, 7, 4, 8. JVS and I disagree. All right, no, that's... Yeah, I'm going to say... Yeah, it could definitely be improved. For instance, like the stroke right here, there's a very 1 pixel small gray stroke on this orange. Completely could get rid of that. Just small things like that. All right, so let's continue on here. Who is next? Oh, there was a super chat. Let me get that dude out real quick. All right. Where is your username? Praneth, where's your username? I'm assuming you want me to review your design. So let me know your Discord username, because you need to mention your Discord username in the super chat for me to know which one for you, for me to find. So let me know. And yeah, let's do the next one. So here we go. Let's reset that. All right, so coming up here. All right, so let's scroll down. Okay, there's no scrolling, so it's just like a single page right here. This is what he says he loves: JavaScript, jQuery, contact me. Well, that's interesting. Look at that. All right. Okay. About. All right. Skills. My work. And contact. Okay. So, looking at this just for this initial page, there's slightly an issue with white space, and that would be this section right here. So you need to push this down further because you have the room and it's real close to this area over here. I saw also say there's an issue with alignment. So it seems a little bit, there's an issue with alignment for sure when it comes to this button, especially when you're not hovered over it. When you hover over it, we have this animation taking place, and yeah, it's all on the same column, but without hovering it, it looks strange with the contact me just being placed over here to the right, essentially. So you would, in my opinion, make it default like this, and also push that way down. You have a lot of vertical space on the screen for you to do that. You have all this space to work with, but you're smashing everything right here. And plus that massive glow that you have kind of, it makes it a little bit hard to read this part where it says front end developer. So I would definitely push down big time to contact me. The part where you say I love HTML5 and CSS3, I'm not too certain about that placement, in the way you're structuring that area, but definitely have it situated to the right like you do. But definitely push this down. So the alignment is a big issue on this page right here. The white space as well, with this one being a little bit close. So white space and alignment are the two things I would work on in this page. Also, like the glow, I would probably get rid of that. The navigational issue you have over here. When you're working with a large desktop resolution like this, you have the space to be able to put an icon along with an associated label. So you're making people guess what these menu items are. So you're forcing them to have to hover over to see what they are. And that's bad for user experience. So have these extended by default automatically. Otherwise, also, when I thought, like, I wasn't looking at them at all. Like, I was looking at my peripheral vision when I was looking at this stuff, and I was assuming these were just social media icons. So you definitely don't want people to do that because they're not going to click them. Hardly anybody ever clicks them. So make sure they're extended. Looking at these pages right here, you could probably push this down a little bit further, separate it from the headline here, my work. I would add definitely more white space inside of these cards. You have enough room to do it. It's just a little bit too close, in my opinion. And that's definitely a no right here with that massive blue glow. I would just get rid of that entirely. But yeah, what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me know in the comments. I'll check in about 30 seconds. All right, in the meantime, I'm wondering if the super chat person mentioned his Discord username. Oh, okay, well, thanks a lot. He said he doesn't want anything reviewed. Thanks a lot for that. All the support helps. All right, so I'm going to give this a rating for what this is. There are some things that are going good. I like the colors. The colors are working pretty well. Contrast is pretty good. And it has a lot of potential too. I'm going to give this... Okay, I'm going to give this a... like a 6.6-ish. Let's see if people agree with that or not. Seems like to be on the lower end slightly right here. Yeah, people pretty much agree. All right. All right, awesome. Okay, let's continue on. All right. Where are we going next? Let's see here. All right. It's Gatlin or Gatelin. I don't know. Feedback. All right. Online portfolio. All right. Let's check this portfolio. All right. Okay. I'm just checking this out. Let's reset this. All right. First, I like this font here. I like this the type for sure right here. I'm not too certain about that pink though. I mean, I like the idea, but maybe slightly change the color up into something that might be a little bit more complementary. Either way, I still like this section right here. Continuing on, one issue is contrast with these icons. They just don't stick out enough. Also, we're kind of running into the same issue as the last one where I'm not really sure what these are. So I would give definitely some sort of indication, like through the context of labels, about what these actually mean. So you need to give them context. Outside of that, okay, we do have a call to action button here. All right, forwarding us to the next point. You definitely want that to end here instead of down here where you cut off the top of this conversation. I like this quite a bit. It's a unique font, and the layout here is pretty good. Might be a little bit tight on the white space end, but it's not bad. Definitely not bad. So I like this section up here. Looking at this, I'm not too sure about the red. Red's one of those colors in psychology that makes people fearful and anxiety in kind of like a warning thing, and it doesn't really make sense based on your professional experience. So I would probably change that to something else. Definitely lacking in this section with the white space between these elements. You have all this room, and this is just sitting here like that. So spread those out to make it easier for people to read. Coming out here in this section, seems pretty solid so far. Make that send button bigger, and also put more padding and white space at the bottom beneath that so that they don't have to scroll all the way to the absolute bottom just to see the send button. All right, so this is pretty solid otherwise. What do you guys think this rating should get? 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. For me, yeah, I know what I'm going to give this. You guys have about 20 seconds. I'm not going to look at the chat. I don't want you guys influencing my my answer. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'm going to give it a 7. Yeah. That's our top rating so far. Somebody gave him a 4, 5, 4, 7, 7. All right. Okay. Let's continue on. It's my fitness mobile app concept with 2 screens. Oh, there's 2 super chats. I must have missed them. 1 second. Oh, yeah. Let's go to Gamelo.gg. Sorry, I don't have this extended all the way, so I must have not saw those. But by default because I have this thing right here. So yeah, we have to get to the super chats first, and then we'll go back to the one I was just at. Thank you very much for the super chat. Normally, I would be saying thank you for, you know, my margarita fund, but I stopped drinking exactly 2 weeks ago, so no more of that stuff, I guess. I'm going to the gym every day. I replaced my alcohol addiction with gym so far. So, all right, let's check this out. All right, so was there any animation? No, there wasn't. Okay, just want to make sure. Looking at this, man, I wanted to give white space, you know, a solid like 10 or so over here, but this is one issue with the white space that could be improved. So you have all this space here. I would definitely push down at least the join alpha now down to here. But other than that, the white space on the rest of the site is real solid, so that's a good one. Contrast and all that looks solid here. That's looking good. Color, we have black with this orange and white predominantly. That looks solid. Visual hierarchy is all looking pretty solid. I know where to look. This is a little bit too big in my opinion. It is quite large. So you could definitely get away with scaling that down because it's directing the eye a lot. So it is kind of an issue with visual hierarchy in terms of like, where am I supposed to look? Am I supposed to look at this or this join alpha now, you know, which is the primary objective of this page, to get people to do this. So you want most of the emphasis there. Typography looks pretty solid. You're not mixing anything, going crazy with different typefaces and all that. So that's solid. Alignment is looking pretty solid, except for right here. This is a little bit close to this section, so you want to separate those things out or squash this to a very light gray, almost white. It wouldn't be a big deal if this is overlapping. Yeah, this is all pretty solid though. All right, what do you guys think this person should get a rating for their UI design? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Oh my God. Me, I'm going to say... Also, I'm not too sure on the drop shadows on these. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna say I'm thinking 7, just a 7. Not just a 7. It's pretty solid, but I was thinking about maybe either a little bit less or more, but I'm just gonna say 7. Somebody said 10. All right, thank you, JVS. Okay, so who is the other one? There was one more. Jordan. Jordan, then if you, well, let's see here. Can I submit it through chat? I mean, if it's just a web page, then you can submit it, Jordan, on, you know, as a message. I'm just trying to look and see if he is mentioning it here. Oh, you got it. Okay, so Jay Felder in Discord. I'm going to go find that real quick. And then we'll get to the next super chat after that. All right. Where the hell's my Discord? There we go. Jay Felder. It's probably near the bottom. There we go. Here's the super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. All right, let's reset this. All right, let's scroll down just so I can get a good quick look at everything over here. Okay. All right, so buy some steroids. Hey, thank you very much, Daniel. All right, awesome. Okay, there's a big issue on this section up here. And that has to do with typography, for one. And when I mean typography, well, let me just mention these. So first is typography and alignment. And I would even say white space as well. Just looking at this section right here. All right, so what you have here is a lot of different type elements, and they're all very close together. You have the logo, which is a type-based, it's a word mark. Then underneath that you have the, which, of course, this is its own typeface. It's unique. I don't see it anywhere else here. So you have one typeface there. You also have this section right here, which is bold serif font. Then you have a script font right underneath it, which is large, which is okay that it's large, but it's taking your eye right to it. And then we have another font right here, which this may be the same font right here, but it's large and it's not bold. So it's just another, you know, inconsistency, if you will. And then we have this one down here, which seems to be an entirely different font size than anything else. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 if you count the sans serif typeface right here for the button. 6 different things happening in such a small area. And so this inconsistency in such a small area makes for clutter, and it makes it actually quite difficult to read. So this is also kind of an issue with visual hierarchy as well. What I would do is get rid of this entirely in this section. You know, I'll leave the logo, get rid of this. You could put this elsewhere. In this section, I actually like this part right here. This whole thing can stay. I think if you just got rid of that, it's going to improve things so much better. So if I go over here, delete that, we've just improved that massively. Because it was also creating an alignment issue too. It's just very strange. So looking at this further, I probably push this sign me up down a little bit more. And yeah, I think the big issue was the thing that I just removed. So let's continue on down here looking at this. Notice you have a lot of white space right here in this section before this kind of this separator right here. And then you have hardly any at the top right here. This is creating an inconsistency of sorts. So you want to push this down at least to around this amount on a large desktop resolution. This can barely be seen, so if this is something that's important that you want people to see, increase the size a little bit. This right here, I would probably make this a little bit larger. It's kind of hard to read, especially with her color of what she's wearing versus the color of this type right here. Push this down. This is too close. This feathers to the edge here. This section I like the most probably on the page. I'd probably add more padding inside of these containers right here so that these aren't so close together. Again, and just get increase that size. All right, so thank you very much for the super chat. What do you guys think this person gets for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Oh, I missed somebody's super chat. Great. Like the colors. For this, I'm going to say, because it has potential, it definitely has potential. Man, we're getting a lot of similar entries in terms of ratings. I'm going to say something like 6.8-ish, I think. Because, again, we were working with this originally, and that was really killing it for me. Oops, sorry. Let me reset that. I'm talking about this part right here. All right, thanks for that. Let's check out the next one. Boy, it really helps to have somebody helping me like I have sometimes. Let's, I missed somebody, as they said. No, I didn't miss this person's. I got this person's. All right, so the next one is Antonio. And that is Rise CRO. Oh, here's the URL, so we don't even need that. Yeah, if you're going to send a super chat, try doing the URL too, and that way I don't have to go look for it. All right. Here's the next super chat based one. All right. Got some animations here. Let's scroll down. All right. So, one thing that's kind of killing it for me up here is this logo with the 1 pixel white stroke on it. I know you're dealing with an orange background and the logo itself is orange, but you can just take out this shape if this is like a mark that's identifying, you know, Project Amber. Just make it white, and then it'll contrast perfectly. When it comes to small strokes like this, I always advise against them. Looking at this section over here, in terms of white space, you could definitely improve that a bit by spacing these things out. Again, you have a lot more room. I think this is a little bit too close to this type right here. That's just a minor gripe, really. Coming down here, though, also this should be white, not black. It would stand out but much better and contrast better, in my opinion. Looking at this section over here, the type is pretty good. I'm not seeing any major issues. There may slightly be an issue with this very thin weight type right here in terms of readability, but maybe only slightly. It still looks, this all still looks solid right here in this area. Good thumbnail based gallery right here for work. I'm not too certain about the soft drop shadow on this section. I might just make those containers completely white, get rid of the shadow, and then just make the text like dark or black. Also, with these, that tiny little 1 pixel white border around there doesn't look good. It looks, I would definitely either make those thicker or remove them. And you know, the rest seems pretty decent right here. All right, so what do you guys think this person gets for their rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Me, what am I gonna say? I'm going to make sure I don't have any more things to rate here. Okay, I think I'm done with the super chats. Correct me if I'm wrong. For this one, I'm going to say, has potential. This is the best section in my opinion right here. I really like the type and how it's laid out. Again, I'm going to have to say something like a 6.8-ish. I'd say this part's really killing it. Let me reset this over here for me, and it's a little bit lacking. Usually you'd have something here at least, but yeah, pretty solid otherwise. Got a lot of 8s here, 5 though, 6.5. Okay, let's continue on. We had a lot of super chats there. I think I got through all of them. I missed one super chat. Who did I miss? Oh, Stratos. Yeah, you just did that. Sorry. There you go. Automotive.gr. See, sometimes I have people helping me in Discord who are on top of things. I don't have that today, so. All right, let's continue on. All right. All right, we got like an automobile site here. I'm just gonna get an idea of what's happening. Maybe I can translate things. All right, so first, This is a noticeable issue with alignment right here when it comes to this logo, where there's an unnecessary amount of white space here compared to the top of it. So you want to get this centered vertically as much as possible inside of this space. In fact, I would probably just bring this hero image up a little bit and maybe, yeah, something like that. These are kind of squashed, so maybe if you can get away with spacing them out just a tad bit more, it would be ideal. This image here is fine, but usually when you have such a large image, let's see what happens on mobile. See, on mobile it's not a big deal because it only takes up a small amount of space, but on desktop, as you can see, it's taken up a massive amount of real estate with the screen. So you're not giving anybody anywhere to click, and you always want to give your users somewhere to go. You want to, a path that they can, a call to action essentially, which is usually in the form of a button. So I would put some sort of button down here, maybe squash out the contrast and maybe darken this area so that the call to action sticks out so that people know what to do. One issue I also noticed when I refresh this and I scroll down, you don't see anything here for a while at the bottom. So you want this stuff to come up quicker. So you're not leaving a big empty area for a couple seconds or whatever. This right here looks pretty solid in terms of design. But yeah, I'm not sure if any of these other links work. I got to translate this stuff. I have no clue what I'm clicking on. Subpage looks pretty decent. I probably push company down a little bit. It's real close to automotive here on desktop at least. I'll check out another page. Oh, looks like that took me to a different page. But yeah, otherwise, everything else, all the basics are pretty much there. Contrasts and colors are looking good. I like this section. One second. Let me see what's happening at the bottom here. There we go. I don't know why. Where's the bottom of my damn browser? There it is. So this right here, you have an issue with white space. You definitely want to have more padding on the top of this, or margin on the top of this element and this element. It's way too close together. I would also left align this to where this column starts here so that you're not throwing issues, you're not having issues like that. All right, so what do you guys think this person should get for their rating for their UI design? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. All right, I know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say okay, I missed somebody's portfolio apparently. I'm going to say with this one 6. Boy, we've stuck around 6 and 7. That's it. All right. Thank you for the super chat. I missed somebody's apparently. Where am I at? I gotta try to figure out where the hell I left off at. I can't even remember. I did like 2 minutes ago. I think it was this one. Yeah. All right. This right here. Let's just go to the dribble. This is the one that I left off at. Okay, I think because I think we're done with the super chats. All right. This is a fitness application. This looks pretty solid off of first glance. Yeah, I like this. This type down here might be a little bit small, kind of condensed into here. You could probably push this up a little bit more to give yourself more vertical room and spacing, but still, this is solid for what it is. And it's just 2 screens and I can't interact with them or anything, but I like the colors and everything here. Yeah, good stuff. Nothing I can really say that's completely off about it. I'm not going to bother with a rating though, just because it's just a quick example. Let's continue on next, and here is my code.glitch.me. Unfortunately, it looks like there's not really much of a layout here for me, and plus you're making my eyes bleed along with everybody else with this color combination. This should be white or something like that, something that contrasts well with this blue. And also this needs aligned up here vertically centered inside of this container. Container is also the menu, the nav bar is too large just for what it is. It needs to be smaller. This is no white space there. So yeah, go back to the drawing board for sure, and definitely take my UI design course that's coming up here in a couple months. All right, let's continue on. Vortexly.net. There was some animation, so I'm going to get that in there. Yeah, I know. I was wondering if the CSS loaded, but it looked like it did have CSS, so there was style. All right, so let's get an idea of what's happening here. All right. Okay, so I like the blue. I like the colors. This is all overall pretty solid section. Yeah, there's not really anything too negative that I can say about this. I like the very subtle, like watermark, that kind of abstract shapes that you have in the background there. Yeah. This is pretty good. Now, coming down, I would say your line height is lacking right here. On these little paragraphs, you want to push those down further from each other for your line height. These are H2 elements. Those should be paragraph elements. These would be the H2 elements. It's either H1, but these aren't H2s. So let me do line height, and that's not working. Why is that not working? Okay, so obviously I can't get the line height, but you need to get this pushed down. I'm not even sure if you can do that with H1 or H2 elements. So push this, separate these lines of text out more and put them in paragraphs instead of H2 elements. Looking at this section, is this a template? All right, well, anyways. Line height's a little bit better here. Probably scale down the size of this text just a tad bit. Same thing with the letter, the line height here. Things are condensed way too much. Yeah, but that's about all I'd have to say for this for the most part. Whenever you have company logos like this white on gray, you can barely see it. I would change that up for sure. Well, we don't know if it's a template for sure though. So unless you know for sure, like you recognize this actual template. We'll say, yeah, go ahead and rate this 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. There are some things happening with it that are quite right, but some things that are also, you know, that could definitely be improved. For what this is, I'll say something like maybe like 7.1. It has a lot of potential up here, but then, you know, this section is just like way too much happening there in my opinion, like over here. All right, thank you for that. Let's continue on. devparth.com. We'll be doing this for about 15 more minutes. My voice is starting to hurt. I don't know why my throat's hurting. If you guys do want me to get to your review, you can send a super chat and you'll be thrust to the very beginning of the line. So let me scroll down just to see what's happening here. All right. So the first thing, I would probably get rid of these snowballs or whatever they are, the particles. If you want to keep them, that's fine, but I would really squash them. Just take the opacity and put like 7% on the opacity so that they're much more of an afterthought. Let's see here. So you do have a call to action here. The social media buttons right here are a bit too large. I would scale those down. Make them white as well so that they contrast. You have maximum contrast. Looking at this section, not too sure. I know you have this little these containers overlapped on top of each other, but not too much of a fan of that, especially the blue one back here. I would probably change that up slightly. Let's continue over here. So I like this font. I like the type. I just think that it's a tad bit too large. And so I would scale this down, this type a bit. White space is pretty good, but for type that is that big, you can have more white space. So it would make a little bit more sense on the top, I mean, and bottom of the buttons. Because it's kind of squashed in there. Looking at this section, this is pretty good right here. Now this part, the layout starts to fall apart in my opinion. You have a center line element right here. Then you have, which is pretty large, it's like, what is it? It's like 80% of this container, which ends here. And then right aligned over here is another object. You know what I would do is put these like more of a traditional thumbnail sort of gallery. This section right here is a big issue because these circular elements are way too large. So it's just filling up the space way too much. Shrink those down quite a bit. And I like this section down here a lot. This is probably the best area, just the way you have the type situated and with the logo and all that. So this is solid. All right, so what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. All right, so Mac, did you mention your Discord? You need to mention your Discord username if you wanted me to actually review something for you. So. This thing has a lot of potential. You come down here and it's like, okay, this is a real solid site, but then you come up here and it's like, all right, seems like a different site. I like this section right here. This is very solid as well. This is pretty good. So like right here, if you scroll in this section, like this whole area is real solid. And then up here, it's not quite as good. So overall, I'm gonna have to say something like a 6.5 ultimately. Oh, the same on YouTube. All right, thank you, JBS. All right, or Discord. Yeah, people agreed with me. Somebody said 6.5 as well. Mac89, let's find you. Also, no more. Well, we could probably do a few more. Super chats. We have 10 minutes, so I'll probably be doing like 2 or 3 more. All right, so this is a super chat. Thank you very much for that. All right, so let's continue on down here and see what's happening, and then I'll give my review. All right. Oh my God. Oh crap. Sorry, I have to get that back. There we go. This is the design. Sorry. All right, so this is the person who sent in the super chat. Okay, major issues here. We're gonna say alignment. We'll check that off first. So we have this this navigation. Alignment is definitely off vertically. You want to center this up inside of this navbar container. Next up, this section. You have this massive amount of content or space here, at least in desktop. Let's see what happens here. And I wouldn't get rid of the logo either. Like, have the logo over here, right align the menu. You have this massive amount of space, so you should utilize it for sure. We have the headline, sub-headline, and a call to action all stuck up just in a tiny area, so you got to space that out big time. Coming down, there is basically way too much type here, and it's not really structured in a great way. The typography also seems cheesy and off, just with this right here, this type of type, so I would change that up. Again, services, you have WordPress. Smashed right up against it is all these bullet points. The bullet points are too large. I would scale those down big time. Space things out a lot more. So your spacing and your alignment, you know, it leaves a lot to be desired here. Coming down, this whole gradient with the very soft shadow against the gray just looks kind of old school. I would change that up. The portfolio just has, I mean, if you only have 2 portfolio projects, that's one thing to understand. But also, by the way, the stroke, get rid of the stroke entirely. And what I was going to say, if you have a portfolio, and this is anybody who's listening, if you only have 1 or 2 projects, don't just put thumbnail galleries like this where there's only going to be 2 of them. Lay them out differently where you can provide perhaps a thumbnail plus accompanying text that's going to fill up maybe this whole area, because you don't have much anyway. So you can put like a title, a description of the project, a link for them to go click on it or whatever. That way, you know, if you only have a few of them, you're at least filling up more space. Simple enough call to act, submission form right here. I mean, nothing that's really going wrong with this. Is probably the best area of the design. And again, I would just get rid of this big old gradient right here. It's kind of old school. I would definitely change that. And also another thing, like one thing that's throwing off the flow of this is you have this centered, you have this centered, and then this is left aligned. It's just like inconsistent, and that type of, there's small details make things not work out well. Left align all of these. All right, so what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Oh my God. For this, I'm going to have to say kind of like a 2.8 or so. Seems like you guys pretty much agree with me. Don't worry, you take my UI design course coming up in like 2 or 3 months, you're going to be producing stuff that's like, you know, on the front page of Dribbble and all this stuff. I mean, this is going to be you. You're going to have this dude with the big hair with this awesome design. Okay. All right, let's continue on. Was there anyone else who sent a super chat? I want to make sure. Nope. Okay. Who's up next? I'm going to do like 1 more, maybe 2 more. Who was next? Shoot. Oh. I think it was this one. Yeah. We got some dude that's working behind a computer. Okay. Let's refresh, see if there's any animation. No, there wasn't. Let's translate though. Although it looked like it was translated already. Or wait, maybe it did that quickly. Let's scroll down. Let's reset that. All right. That's because you need to have a reaction to one of the rules in the news thing. Who's messaging me? All right. So looking at this, the one thing that's sticking out to me is white space. And usually it's not enough white space, but in this case I would say there's too much white space, at least looking at the desktop resolution. If we come down here, it's a bit better, but looking at it from here, you have just a massive amount of space in between this section, this right here, and this. And if you think about it, you need to prioritize your content. So visual hierarchy comes into play here. What is the most important? Is it this guy, this illustration behind a computer? No. It's this stuff right here. This is type. So I would like to see this bigger. Reliable design could be on its own line. And this could be larger and probably pushed out to more around here. And the My Work button is pretty good as it is. So there's just an issue with the balance between these two elements. The home, portfolio, and contact, the alignment here is a little bit off because if I had to guess and I do this, yeah, this contact button should be to the right. All right, so move this whole thing over so that the end of contact ends on this right here where this ends, because otherwise it's throwing off the framing of the layout. Coming down here, again, we have a massive amount of white space, probably a tad bit too much between these columns, but still, in my opinion, it's better to have too much white space than too little, for sure. So at least that's correct. Again, just make these things a little bit larger, space them out a little bit further. I like the colors and the simplicity. That's all working well. This works very well. I'd probably push down these descriptions from the from the rating just a bit more. All right, pretty solid here. All right, what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. For me, I'm going to say a 7.3. It's probably one of our better entries that we've received today. Just a few small things, and it really will come together quite well. All right. We'll do one more, and that is it. Don't send a super chat because I'm not going to do it. So where's my Discord at? What the hell? There we go. Right here, I think that's the next one. We have something that is loading quite long. What is happening here? If it doesn't load soon, unfortunately, I am going to have to move on to a different entry. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, we got a super chat, so at least that'll work. Thank you for the super chat. Where's this dude at? B. All right, so this is a super chat. I know I said I wasn't going to do another one, but because that guy's wasn't loading, I decided to do this instead. All right, so we have a brief animation showing up here. Let's see. We simplifies innovation. We simplifies. Let's scroll down. I really like this section. Nice smooth animations. Yeah, this is solid. The biggest, okay, so the biggest, I would say the biggest downside in this design is this section right here. We have a bland, sort of desaturated gray, monotone area right here. And really, I would center this vertically anyways and give them some sort of scroll indicator. But coming down here, look at this. I mean, this versus that, it's just a huge difference. Like, this has a lot of color. I love the type. It's spaced out perfectly. Very, very good. Coming down here, this section is solid. I really don't see anything too wrong with it. This is a little bit strange just because we have a left line text here, and then centered up is this section, and this is also, oh, it's a, yeah, this isn't too obvious that this is a slider just because these little indicators are so small and pushed up real close to here. So I would push these down more and make them a little bit larger. But this is a little bit cluttered in this section, having this type right here, or those elements. This is pretty solid. I would make one of these by default filled in, just so you can give them a clear indicator in terms of what you would prefer they do. Email us today or request a quote. Almost sounds like the same thing, almost. But yeah, this is solid otherwise. What do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I have literally 1 drop of water left. It's probably our best one. I'm going to give a rating of like 7.7, 7.8. It's just this one. This section up here is what stopped it from being an 8. Or even more, or even higher. That section up here. All right. Awesome, awesome stuff. I'm done. I'm sorry I didn't get to people. I know there's a lot of people I didn't get to. But we'll do this again in another few weeks. And yeah, it's been fun. Definitely make sure you check out completeui.design. Enter your email here to be notified of when I release this UI design course, which I'm starting to work on now. So again, it may take 2 to 3 months, but it will be before 2020 or maybe January 1st. I'm not sure yet. Depends. And it's going to be hours upon hours upon hours of awesome, hundreds of different examples to try to get people who are just absolute beginners or even intermediate into producing professional UI designs. All right. It's been fun. I will talk to you guys later. Check out the Discord. Hang out there. I'm always there. All right. Goodbye.